The Milwaukee Bucks are finally starting to figure it out. Of course, they make the big trade to bring in Kyle Kuzma at the deadline, sending off Chris Middleton, banishing him to Washington. They add Kuzma to a core of Dame Lillard, Giannis, Brook Lopez, and a bunch of great role players surrounding those guys. And sure, there was a couple of speed bumps, a couple of learning curves, but now this Bucks team looks like they figured it out. They've won 4 straight coming out of the All-Star break. They finally got Giannis back in the lineup, and they look like a really tough team to deal with, sitting at 32-24 and 5th in the Eastern Conference, about half a game out of 4th behind the Indiana Pacers. They've also made a change in the lineup, sliding Taurean Prince up to the 2-guard spot and then letting Kyle Kuzma play the 3 with Giannis at the 4, Brook at the 5, and then of course Dame at the 1. So it's a really interesting new lineup, and hopefully it works out because the Bucks have the 6th toughest strength of schedule the rest of the way in the entire NBA. This should be nothing new for Giannis, though, and not really a challenge. This man, Giannis, is one of the most underrated players in the NBA. He's averaging 31 and 12 with 6 assists per game, 1.3 steals, and 0.8 blocks, so over 2 stocks a game, and he's not even in any MVP conversations. It's all Shea, it's all Jokic. This man is putting up 31 a game on 61% shooting from the field. Now, 58% from 3 is not great, but he can get you an easy 25 and 10. Like, he can get that in his sleep, and there's nobody in the league that can cover this man one-on-one. Like the Sixers right here, absolutely egregious that they're trying to cover this man one-on-one. Nobody ever comes to help. He just gets right to his fadeaway. Honestly, pretty good defense. You just can't stop him. This time, they wise up a little bit. They send 3, and it's still not enough. Look at this. Oubre on him. At first, they double down from the strong side, and then a guy comes over from the weak side to try and contest at the rim. Doesn't matter. It's still going in. He's an elite roller as well. If he gets 2 feet inside the restricted arc, it's pretty much over. You can throw it up, you can throw it to him regular, you can post up, and he can make a move. He can even get a little fancy with it down low with the reverse dunk. Giannis is a freak of nature, and he is absolutely at his best going downhill. He is absolutely scary coming downhill. As a matter of fact, he's the best player in the league in transition this year, averaging almost 8 points a game, with the next best guy being Norman Powell, who averages just 6.6 points per game in transition. Giannis is unrivaled when coming downhill, and even though people really aren't talking about it, he should be an MVP candidate, and that's part of the reason that this Bucks team should not really be worrying about their upcoming schedule. Dame is also playing very good basketball right now. Almost 26 points a game, 7.5 assists, and they've kind of figured out how Dame and Giannis can work together. They need him to get going early and often. The more he scores early, the better, because yes, he can be the closer, but they need him to be the facilitator in the first half. You see the numbers in the first half for him this year, and that's really what has taken this Bucks team to the next level, is his production early on. Because like we said, Giannis can walk his way into 25 and 10, sleepwalk his way for that matter. But Lillard, they need him to get going early, and when he gets going early, this team is 10 times better. He shoots 45% from the field and 38% from 3 on the year, and the reason he works so well with Giannis is obviously a dominant interior force, whereas Dame is a perimeter marksman. Just look at some of these shots that he's hitting, right? This time in transition, we're going to stop on a dime and get back behind the 3-point line. That is nasty right there. Little Paul's dribble, step back, over, I believe that's Justin Edwards, easy bucket. And then he's going to fall away into the corner here. Kelly Oubre loses him for the slightest second, and he hits it. And then just, logo Lillard. They call him that for a reason. This duo is starting to mature together, and they're looking really good together right now. I'm not going to lie. And then when you throw in their new addition, Kyle Kuzma, who just had his best game as a Buck versus the Minnesota Timberwolves in what was a very impressive win, in my opinion, against the Timberwolves, who are a good team out west without Giannis. He's averaging 16 points a game so far with about 7.5 rebounds per game as a Buck, 42% shooting from the field, 30% from 3 on 5.2 attempts. So not the best 3-point percentage in the world, and really not the most efficient, but it's been a 5-game sample size, right? Let's give him a little bit more time. Obviously, he's a better weapon right now than Chris Middleton, who just looks pretty slow, honestly, still getting back from injury. He looks old. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And you've got Kuzma now as your number 3 creator, who is a great slasher, but he also averaged 4.2 assists per game last year. So he can get other guys involved, finding Gary Trent Jr. right here. And then, like we said, he can get downhill, finish at the rim, or even get into his bag a little bit and hit that little sidestep fall away, which is a really, really tough shot. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, make sure to hit the like button, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point, or if you are enjoying at any point. We're looking for 300 likes on today's video, so if you could help us out with that, it'd be greatly appreciated. Now, let's talk about Bobby Portis and that unfortunate situation where he is now out for 25 games. It was pretty much an accident. They accidentally mixed in some illegal painkiller with whatever he was supposed to be taking, but on the year he's averaging 13.7 points a game, 7.8 boards, 2.5 assists in 25 minutes per game, and has been a really steady bench piece for this Bucks team. At 6'10" with a 7'2" wingspan, he can provide rim protection like you just saw, just better length, and can swallow up passing lanes. He can also create for himself and for others, finding AJ Green right here on the skip pass, really nice skip out of the ISO situation, and then he can play off ball, like off of Giannis right here, or off of anybody else. Dame finds him right here for the corner 3 ball. He's just a great piece, and it's going to be tough for them, especially with that number 6 ranked strength of schedule going forward without a key bench piece in Bobby Portis. But a guy we didn't get to talk about in my last Bucks video is Brook Lopez, who is averaging 12.5 points per game and 4.8 rebounds, as well as 2 blocks this year, while shooting 48% from the field and 37% from 3 on 5 attempts. But Brook is much more than just a shooter and sometimes a rim protector, right? He is a great rim protector down low. About 2 blocks per game in not even 30 minutes. That's very impressive. Or just over 30 minutes, I should say. But he's also, a good roller here. And he didn't get the nickname Splash Mountain by an accident. I don't know what in the world Jalen Green's doing right there, but that's an easy 3-ball. When you got to pick between Brook Lopez and AJ Green, I guess you pick AJ Green, but that's a lose-lose situation. He can also throw lobs, creating for himself a little bit. And then the other guy they picked up at the deadline was Kevin Porter Jr. And I actually like this trade. About 10 points per game, 3 boards, 2.8 assists in 17 minutes per game for KPJ this year as a Clipper. And he's been a microwave scorer wherever he's been at any point in his career. If you just flip on a Bucks game and you see this guy out there, when he gets hot, you'd think he's the best player on the team. 56% shooting from the field, 33% from 3, on 0.6 attempts per game. So needs to clean that up a little bit when it comes to 3-point percentage, but otherwise, pretty good score. He's been very efficient. I know it's only been 5 games so far in Milwaukee, but he's also got some vision that he's showing off, finding AJ Green, who really did most of the legwork right there, and then once again finding Kyle Kuzma down low for the free throws. And as we talked about earlier, I like this refined starting 5. You've got a lot of length, a lot of defense here with Kuz now in the lineup, along with Prince now at the 2. You still have KPJ and 2 really good shooters off the bench, but you also bring Ajax off the bench now. And he brings a lot of energy that can check into a game and give the opposing team's best perimeter player hell, to be honest, right? He can just strap down right here on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. No, there's nothing there. That is as good a defense as I've seen played on Shai all year. Still able to get the high hand up there even after the little shoulder bump. And then we talked about it. They got Gary Trent Jr. coming off the bench, who this year is averaging about 10.4 points per game, 2.4 rebounds, 1.2 assists in 25 minutes, as well as 1 steal per game, while shooting 44% from the field and 42% from 3 on 5 attempts. Then you have AJ Green, another guy coming off the bench. We've talked about him a lot on the channel before. 7.7 points per game for him, 2.3 rebounds, 1.2 assists in 23 minutes and 49 games played on the year. And like I said, this Bucks team, they've won 6 in a row or 4 in a row, and yes, they have the 6th hardest strength of schedule going forward. I don't think it's going to phase them too much. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like button, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point. And with all that being said, we're looking for 300 likes on today's video. Thank you so much for watching.